Okay, so let's talk about AI. This is something that I know is new. People are trying to figure it out. Naturally, there are people diving in head first. There are others that absolutely refuse to utilize it. So then there's the majority. That's us. We're interested in how it might make life easier, more efficient, but we kind of maybe not know how to best utilize it right now. So another factor that I think is evident right now is I don't think people want to admit they even use it. It's almost kind of embarrassing. It's kind of like there's almost a stigma to it. Like, I don't want them to know that I use chat to help me write this. And then you fill in the blank for whatever it was that you used ChatGPT for. But let's clear the air. The fact of the matter is this is a new technology. It's not going away. In fact, it's only going to evolve. And before you know it, it'll be woven into our daily activities, our daily lives, just like all other technologies in the past have done. For example, there was a time when we didn't have these little mini computers in our pocket, but now we do. Heck, there was a time there wasn't even phones. So what I'm trying to get at here is that AI is just another technological advancement that can help us if we utilize it effectively. So there shouldn't be any embarrassment for utilizing any kind of new technology to enhance your work. However, you need to be careful, about relying solely on this new technology to create the things that you want, specifically AI, because it's a tool right now. It's a tool to help you enhance, but it's not quite yet an all-inclusive do it for you without you having to put it in any kind of effort kind of platform. So with that, let me tell you something I see every week. I get business plans, I get funding proposals, I get a lot of documents, and within the first 10 seconds, I can tell you whether or not it was written by AI. And the reason is because it's not because AI is bad, it's because typically people aren't using it effectively. It was used badly. And so the surprising part, AI written documents, they don't fail because AI can't write. They fail because people skip the thinking. I feel like there's a misconception. We still need to think about it. You can't skip the strategy. Right now, you can't expect AI to magically know your business better than you do. So today what I want to do is I want to take you through, just some things to show you. Number one, I want to start with the red flags that I see, why most people get mediocre output, how to fix that input. And then the most important part, really, how to prepare before you ever even type your first prompt. So if we look through this, again, I want to talk about red flags, why most people get mediocre output, how to fix it, and how to prepare before. So let's start with the red flags. Why AI output looks generic. So number one is that's generic. That's the key word. When I look at a document, I can always tell, number one is because it has very generic language. There's, I'll see stuff like our company aims to revolutionize the industry through innovative solutions and customer-centric approaches. So it sounds polished, but it really doesn't say anything. It's kind of business Mad Libs. It's not really going anywhere. It's nothing unique to you. And so that leads to the voice. Another thing that I see that's a red flag, there's no unique voice. So the story could belong to any business. No personality, no founder intent, no perspective. Funders and investors can feel that immediately. There's internal inconsistencies. Things like the market analysis doesn't support the revenue forecast, or the goals don't match the activities. The financial assumptions are completely disconnected from the narrative. That's a very common thing. You'll see inconsistencies right now with things that AI generates if you depend solely on that and then just copy and paste it into a document. So there's lack of evidence. So great proposals are always going to be grounded in data. So bad AI plans, they make claims without backing them up because the user didn't feed AI the facts. And in fact, I saw an interesting video not too long ago where a lot of times the facts that it uses are facts that sometimes it can even make up. So sometimes unless you ask it to cite your evidence, a lot of times it could make it up because it's generated to try to create the best response that that it thinks that you need or want. So the other thing, it's too perfect, it's too sterile. So there's really no tension, no realism, no insight into actual strategies. I guess the best way to explain it is it kind of reads like elevator music. It's smooth, it's forgettable, it's easy to ignore. Bonus red flag: those freaking emojis. Oh my gosh. Don't ever copy and paste an emoji into any kind of a grant proposal, but AI loves to generate those. But anyway, those are some of the biggest red flags that I see. These are signs of someone who said, "Hey, write me a business plan." They typed enter and then just hope for the best. And so let's talk about why this happens. I think the reason why this happens is right now, again, we're trying to understand it. We're trying to utilize it the best we can. But I think right now people do misunderstand what AI actually does. AI does not think for you. It builds with whatever materials you give it. So the best way to look at AI right now is think of it like a contractor. If you hand a contractor a detailed, if you want a contractor to build you a house and you hand them a detailed blueprint, that's great. They're going to build what you give them in the blueprint. However, if you hand them a sketch on a napkin, you get whatever they can guess. And so what I'm saying is, the more detail you give AI, the better the result is going to be. It's like a contractor. If you tell a contractor to say, "Hey, build me a house," the contractor is very able to build a house, but they're not going to build the house that you want unless you give them a detailed blueprint. So most people right now, they give AI kind of a napkin sketch. There's no data, no strategy, no clarity. And then they're disappointed when they get kind of that generic building. So that's kind of the case right now. And that's why this happens. And that's why I'm making this video, actually. So to hopefully help. So let's talk about, how do we fix bad AI? So I want to talk about that in 5 steps. Number 1, you want to set the context before writing anything. So when you begin to put a prompt into AI, there's a sequence or there's a structure that you really need to follow to create a good prompt for AI. So here's what you need to do. You need to tell AI who you are. I'm a nonprofit. I'm a small business. I'm this or I'm that. You need to tell it what exactly you're trying to create. I'm trying to create a business plan. I'm trying to create a grant funding proposal or a proposal to present to a bank or an investor. You need to also tell it what format you want the information in. I want this format. I want it formatted in narrative version, or I want it in tables. I want it bullet points, or I want it a combination of, or whatever. You need to state who your audience is. So who are you writing this to? Are you writing this to potential donors? Are you writing this to investors, to banks, to grant funding agencies? Who is your audience? And then what is the goal? I'm trying to secure funding. I'm trying to make this point. I'm trying to motivate people to give or invest. So an example, I'm a grant writer helping a rural nonprofit secure $250,000 to help expand telehealth access for seniors. Please write me a funding proposal, and I want that in a narrative format and no more than 500 words. That's an example of a good solid prompt. At least it's not necessarily everything you want to have in a prompt, which we'll talk about here in a minute, but that's what that means. Set the context before writing anything. The other thing, break the job down into stages. So instead of saying, write me a business plan, instead say things like this in your prompt. Say, outline the structure first. And then from that structure, break that down. And, for example, out of the structure that it gives you, it tells you to create a problem statement. That's when then you break it down into different stages. So you say, draft the problem statement. Now expand to the market analysis. Now build the financial model using inputs that I provide. You have to think like a strategist. So prompt everything in sequence. Don't expect to just do one prompt and it generate the whole thing. I have raised hundreds of thousands of dollars already using AI. And I can tell you, when I'm writing those proposals, it is a series of prompts, and so my thread that I have with AI begins to be it's very, very long, and there's multiple prompts. You have to prompt in sequence. It's not just one prompt. It's not a one and done kind of thing. So the other thing, you need to feed it real data. So that's an important step. So never let AI guess the numbers. Like I said, if you let it guess the numbers without telling it to cite real data, it may even make it up. So you'll get nonsense if you let AI guess the numbers. So what you want to do is you want to give it all the data that you have, whether that's market size data, operational numbers, benchmarks, statistics, program outcomes, quotes, lived experiences. Whatever you have, you need to give that information to AI to let it use it to build. And if you want it to add data, make sure that you tell it where to source the data from, or that you want to make sure that it is real valid data, and then you need to request to cite the data to make sure you can give credit where credit is due as well as you're creating your documents. So that's the difference between fluff and credibility. The other thing is to revise and refine. And so this is where I think we sometimes can misunderstand AI. It's okay to tell AI, hey, I did not like that. I want you to change it this way, and I want it to sound like this. But it's also a healthy thing to do is to take your documents and also ask AI questions like, hey, where does this sound generic? Rewrite this like a founder with traction, or make this more confident and data backed. AI improves dramatically when you ask it to analyze its own weaknesses, and it will analyze its own weaknesses. And with that, what that does is that just helps create, it helps AI be just a much better tool for you. So you also, the fifth step, you want to verify and validate. So AI accelerates thinking, but it cannot replace your judgment. So with that, you must review logic, validate feasibility, align your narrative with numbers, and ensure everything reflects your strategy. So this is where a mediocre plan becomes a bulletproof plan. So a key step, though, that most people miss, and this is what I really want to talk about, is the pre-prompt clarity. So before you even put anything in to AI, you must do some thinking first. AI cannot fill in knowledge you don't give it. And so what I'm saying is that everything we've discussed so far depends on what you do before you even open up the AI platform. So you must do some homework. You must do some initial work before you even use AI or even type one prompt. And so one thing that I like to do, what I suggest is you need to do a data dump. You need to get everything out of your head and onto a document that you can use to copy and paste into your prompts to give it the information that it needs to effectively help it write the best thing or create the best product that it can. So with that, I have come up with 10 universal questions. These are strategic questions to ask yourself before writing even one prompt. So the top 10 questions that you want to answer, and you make sure that you answer, is what exactly are you trying to achieve? Who is your audience or decision maker? What unique problem are you solving? What is your solution? What proof do you have? What measurable outcomes? What strategies? What resources? What is your timeline or milestone? What risks exist? And then how are you going to mitigate them? And so those are at a minimum. You need to take all the information you can and dump it on to a document, answer all of these questions. That way you have information to give AI as you're prompting it for information. And so these are just universal. It doesn't matter if you're a startup, if you're existing, if you're a growth stage company, if you're a nonprofit. However, if you are, here's some additional things to add. If you're a nonprofit, you want to make sure that you tell AI what your mission and vision is, your target population, your needs data, your program logics, your budgets, your funder alignment. If you're a startup, you're going to want to have things from like product description, pain points, timestamp sum, revenue models, all the way down to your exit and growth plan, your go-to-market strategy. So be sure to make sure AI understands all of this as well. If you're a startup, if you're a growth stage company, you want to make sure it understands what your current state is, what your opportunity is, what your rationale, all the way down to your KPIs and risk factors associated with it. And so those are some important things to make sure that you include and you give to AI so it can be the best tool for you. Another thing that you can do, you can also ask AI. You can straight up say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. What information do I need to give you to do the best job? So here, we can try it in real life. So I've created a prompt. It says, I'm a rural nonprofit agency, want to expand telehealth for seniors in rural and accessible areas. I'm wanting to raise $250,000. It's a 1-year pilot. I want to write a competitive grant proposal. And so I'm just going to ask it, what information do you need from me that will help you write the most competitive and compelling grant proposal? And once we plug that in and we write that out, it will tell us to help you write the most. These are the things that I need. And so it will go down. It will give you a list of things. So when in doubt, just ask AI, say, hey, what information do you need to create what I'm trying to create? And it will give you all the information. Now what you could do is you could take this, copy and paste it onto a document, and then start dumping information in there to give it the information that it needs so it can be the best tool for you. And so when you prepare this kind of information ahead of time, AI, it stops being a guessing machine and becomes your strategic accelerator. And so that's really the most important thing is your pre-prompt clarity. But those are some tips and some techniques that you can use to make sure that you are giving it the best information. So final takeaways, pre-prompt clarity. It's so important. Write out the answers to your big questions. A pro tip, it doesn't need, you're not looking for eloquence. You're not trying to write anything. You're just trying to get information out. Bullet points are fine. Just it's important to get as much information out as you can. Try to be as comprehensive and clear as you can. Your prompt strategy, use sequenced intentional prompts and then AI refinement. Collaborate with it, humanize it, and finalize it. And so with that, I have created a plan builder prompt sequence. If you're interested in a comprehensive prompt sequence that you can use for yourself, I have created one. It'll help you build a bulletproof plan and proposal. It's the sequences that I've used to already raised hundreds of thousands of dollars utilizing AI. And so if you're interested in that and you want it, just comment or DM prompts from wherever you are, from wherever you're watching this, and I'll send them over to you. So with that, I hope this helped you. I hope it can give you some clarity as you go out and continue trying to utilize AI in the best way. It's a great tool. It's a useful tool. It's going to be something that is going to be great for all of us. We can utilize it in our own way. We just need to utilize it as effectively as possible. So I hope this helps you out. If you're interested in the prompt sequence, DM me or comment. We'll see you next time.